Hello! Welcome to episode 16 of Create This Book by Mariah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. Would be me. Okay, I was supposed to post this video last week. I promised you guys 2 Create This books in 1 week. That did not end up happening. Things have gotten super crazy for me lately. Just trying to get back on schedule from having gone camping. And then my kids are back in school this week. Plus, I've been working on a huge project behind the scenes. It's going to be major for the channel. I'm sure you guys will be delighted once you find out what it is, but I'm not going to say anything until I have all the details kind of ironed out. But there's a lot going on, and I always promised you guys that I am not going to burn myself out, that if there's ever too much on my plate, I'm going to go ahead and take a step back. So that's what I'm doing. I am going to limit myself to doing the one Create This Book, 1 video per week, no bonus videos for the time being, just until I get ahead of everything. I just need to get caught up, but I'm glad we're getting around to this episode. I am so excited for it. There are a ton of good prompts. We actually have 5 prompts this week. That's a lot of work, so enough of me talking. Let's jump right in and see what I can create. Starting the week off with, create a person. Come up with a character, draw what they look like, describe their personality, list their likes and dislikes. Okay, so for this one, I found myself in a bit of a pickle. Because you guys know I'm really bad at creating characters. It's just not my strong suit. But I had an idea for how to kind of get through this where I'm not having to come up with so much on my own. Have you ever seen those hair videos where the client does like a blind pick where they pick from one of 2 options? Like what color to dye their hair, whether or not to add highlights, to trim, or full-on cut it. I love those, so I want to kind of do it with this prompt. So I made some cards. They'll give me 2 options of traits for a type of person that I can draw. Cody's going to help me out and hold them up for the camera so I can pick one of the 2. And just so you can tell, they're cardstock, so I'm not going to be able to see through them. Like, it will be a blind pick. But yeah, I gave myself the option of doing a mermaid or a witch, a girl or a boy. My character can either be good or evil, and they'll either have short hair, that's long hair, or short hair. And then I'll draw them with either a magical object or an animal sidekick. And lastly, color palette. I will either use warm colors or cool colors. So let's call Cody over and get to picking. Mermaid. Ooh. What's next? Oh boy, he's a merman. Okay. Good. Okay. Oh, at least he has long hair. Oh, okay. Now I'm happy again. Animal sidekick. Ooh. Okay, cool colors. Normally I'd be upset because I like warm colors, but actually that works good for a mermaid, I think. We have a mermaid, merman, who's good, but he has long hair, and an animal sidekick, and I'm using cool colors. All right, let's make our person. Okay, through the power of editing magic, I'm already done with my sketch, and we can get started on the outline. I drew him as kind of a beefcake, like he is ripped. And then he has that long, flowing Fabio hair. I was so excited that he got long hair. Like, I definitely think he wouldn't have had enough edge if it was short. I know I was bummed that I didn't pick evil, but this was kind of a good opportunity to step outside of the Ashleigh Monet box and come up with the kind of character that would be the hero of the story rather than the villain. All right, animal sidekick time. I had to go with a little shark. I love sharks. Also, I wanted him to be holding something for sure, but I felt like a spear or a trident would be a little too, played out, expected. I was at a loss, so I settled on a fishing net with a little starfish chilling on it. Bonus animal sidekick. Fine line detail time. Let's enhance all of those muscles and that chiseled face. Oh my, he's like a little Ken doll. Mermaid Ken. Now I just gotta give the shark all of his chompers. Hey, that would be a good name for him. Chomper. Oh my gosh, all my fellow Land Before Time kids, you guys are gonna appreciate the reference, I'm sure. I love the idea of this pet shark looking super aggressive, but like being a big softie ultimately, with like puppy energy. Alrighty, let's get this dynamic duo colored in using cool colors. Can't forget cool colors. Add a few juicy highlights. And I love this. I'm happy with this. Now we just need to write up his character synopsis. I decided to name him Pascal and wrote it out with this fun little mermaid-y type font. So what do you need to know about Pascal? Pascal is a kind-natured merman from the Mediterranean Sea. He dislikes seeing any other sea creatures in peril and has made it his life's mission and passion to protect them by freeing them from fishing nets and hooks. Also, Pascal never goes anywhere without Chomper, his pet shark and best pal. Let's get this side colored to match the other side. I feel like there wasn't a ton of room on the page to elaborate more on these two little dudes, but you know what? That's okay. I think you get it. We've got a merman with a hero complex and a shark that, much like Jessica Rabbit, isn't bad. He's just drawn that way. I love them. Maybe we'll revisit them and continue their story, but now it's time to glue them in the book. Lovely. Now just zhuzhing up the prompt just a smidge. I couldn't help glancing over and thinking to myself that Pascal is giving me serious Brad Pitt as Louis from Interview with a Vampire vibes. I mean, right? But here's the finished page. I love it. I had so much fun coming up with this. My heart does mourn a little for the unpicked cards, but you never know. Maybe someday. Okay, next prompt. Create smudges. Coat your fingers with ink, paint, or charcoal. Smear the color across the page. So I jumped in with a plan to draw a unicorn on this one. But out of nowhere, Prince just jumped up on my desk, which honestly, none of the cats ever really do. They're usually, giving me my space to do my art. But I think he was feeling a little needy, so I had to stop to give him some lovin'. About 45 minutes later, I'm back at it, and yeah, unicorn. Truth be told, my original idea was to draw a woman and use rainbow paint smudges for her hair. I sat with that idea for a little while and was like, do more. Then I thought, ooh, a unicorn with rainbow smudges for their hair, for the mane. But then I decided to do even more. I wanted to incorporate black smudges because that's more my jam than rainbow. So I thought I could make the rainbow kind of melt to black as the hair falls. It's totally all right if you can't picture what I'm telling you just yet. The truth is, I can show you better than I can tell you. I drew the unicorn with regular old pencil. I wanted her expression to be kind of sad, because it's going to be like her colors are fading away, which feels sad. I found myself almost channeling thoughts of the never-ending story where Artax got consumed by the swamp of sadness. Oh, one of the saddest scenes in cinematic history. Like, why did my brain have to go there? Why? I decided to start following the prompt early and did a little finger smudging to blend that pencil. Now on to color, I busted out the Artex brush pens for the unicorn's mane. Now this was the first time I had used them since my initial video testing them out. I had mentioned in that video that I was worried about them drying out quickly, and boy, for good reason. Every marker other than the orange and pink were extremely dry, very difficult to use. It was so disappointing. I know a lot of artists that have had good experiences with these brush pens in the past, but I'm also hearing a lot that are currently having the same experience as me. It's almost like the quality has gone down in recent batches. But I was planning on using these when I do the Create This Book challenge after I finish the series, and now I am 0% convinced that they're gonna last that long. I mean, they're gonna dry out. Boo! Well, at this point, I was certainly in the mood to add some black to this page, and fortunately, that one was still nice and juicy, so I kind of just feathered it on as the black ends of the mane. And then I went back through and added some drips. Again, I'm trying to contribute to that like sad, drippy, melty idea. But then it was time to ditch the brushes and start the smudging. This part was sort of random, which is kind of outside of my comfort zone, but it ended up being sort of therapeutic. I decided to add little black kind of splatter spots all over just to fill in the space, but they're kind of giving me Dalmatian spots. I felt like the unicorn herself was kind of disappearing on the page, so I darkened up some of the lines with that pencil, but it still didn't do it for me. So I committed and I inked the liner. I liked that better. A little silver metallic gel pen, and I felt this one was good to go. I sort of hate it because it looks a little chaotic, but I also sort of love it because I always swoon for the pairing of black and rainbow for some reason. But that brings us to prompt number 3. Create an interview. Make a list of questions to ask a friend or family member and record their responses here. Okay, so for this one, I'm definitely going to be aging myself with this reference, I know. But thinking of like an interview and sharing it with your friends, asking them questions, it made me think of the good old MySpace days. I was obsessed with MySpace. I was that girl that did all of the crazy layouts. I loved coding. But anyways, loved MySpace. But MySpace had this feature that was called bulletins. And it was basically like posts, because you would post something and then all of your friends would get notified about it and be able to read it. But one of the things that a lot of people did with their bulletins is they would take these little surveys. And the surveys would have any number of questions, all random stuff, just like getting to know you things, but things you wouldn't normally ask somebody. The little itty bitty details. And people would fill them out with all of their answers, post it as a bulletin, and then their friends would read it and then copy and paste it onto their bulletin, change all the answers to apply to them. And it just kind of started a chain, and you would get to find out all these little random bits about your friends that you might have never known otherwise. And I was obsessed with them. I loved them so much. So I thought for this prompt, I wanted to go ahead and do a little MySpace survey myself and relive the glory days. It's so funny because I even just like Googled MySpace bulletin survey or MySpace survey, one of those. And it came up with this one, and it's pretty spot on to the kind of questions that I would normally answer in these bulletin surveys. So yeah, let's go through it and I'll give you guys my answers. Let's pull over my laptop. I'm super excited. I went on this like little mini shopping spree with a lot of my YouTube friends that have shops and bought a bunch of stickers for them. And now I have a decked out laptop, which is super exciting. Gotta support your fellow artists. Am I right? Glasses, glasses. I can't see without my glasses. Okay. All right. Question 1. What is your name? Ashleigh Monet, obviously. Hair color, black, just black. Yeah, it was like that for the last video too, and I didn't want to draw any attention to it because I knew people would be kind of like upset that I got rid of the fun colors, but the plan was always to go back to black. I'm so happy to be back to it, so just black. Eye color, dark brown, borderline black. Height, 5'3". I'm a little shorty, not circus short, but I'm a short one. Piercings, currently my ears and my nose. Although I will say, in my years on this earth, I have had almost everything pierced. I just never stick with anything. But yeah, everything other than the nips. But right now, ears and nose. Tattoos. Ooh, okay, so people have been asking me actually to do like a tattoo tour, which is attainable because I'm not fully covered. There's a lot of them. Too many for me to type on this. In fact, I'm gonna say too many to list. But I will tell you guys what I've got. So I actually just got this one for my birthday, but kind of like neck and back of ear situation. I have some leopard spots. I've always loved leopard. I know it's not trendy anymore, but that's fine. It will always be on point for me. Love leopard print. I wore like the wrong shirt to do this because for once everything is like fully covered. But on this arm, I have a clever fox, and that is my tattoo for my son. It's like one of my only tattoos that means something. Somebody asked me like, tell me your tattoo meanings, and for real, like 90% of them don't mean anything. But this one I did get for my son. When he was in preschool, his class did like a little Native American awareness unit, and each kid got assigned a Native American name, and his was Clever Fox. And I don't know what it was. He was just like so hyped about the idea of it that he only wanted to be called Clever Fox for a while, became obsessed with foxes. They were his favorite animal for the longest time. They still, if I asked him, I bet he'd still say that they are, but he's definitely not as obsessed as he was when he was little. But yeah, I was like, I want a little Clever Fox. So it's just a little fox with some glasses. He's reading a little book. And then it has little violets around the border because his birth month is February and the birth flower is violet. So yeah, there's that one. And then on this side is my tattoo sleeve from hell. To be fair, it's one of those you get what you pay for tattoos. My sister introduced me to a guy who tattooed out of his house, and he was doing $150 tap out sessions. And I wanted a full sleeve, so I didn't tap. And he tattooed me for, I think it was like 13 hours straight. That was brutal. And we did a mermaid, an octopus, and then I had a butterfly on my wrist that I wanted covered up. And he said he could do it. I was like, if you can't cover up the butterfly, then I want it on the other arm. And he's like, no, I can cover up the butterfly. Well, he goes, he lays down the mermaid, he lays down the octopus, and then he's like, I just don't know what to do with this butterfly. I was like, you said I'm not gonna leave a butterfly on like a sea-themed sleeve. So I just threw out the idea. I was like, well, could you cover it with something that's like solid black, like a pirate ship? And he's like, yeah, I could do that. So he did. It looks like crap. Honestly, the whole tattoo looks really terrible. And I've had so many people rework it. Like I've tried to rework her face because I don't think it's very attractive. When she was tattooed, she had a really weird shaped body, and I've had somebody kind of like add some curve to her, but they did it all wrong, so I'm still not happy with it. I had a guy go in and put a shark in, and the shark is by far like my favorite part of the whole sleeve now. But I'm in talks right now with the tattoo artist that did my neck tattoo because he does portraits and he says he can fix her. So we'll see. Moving down this arm, I have this little like arrow tattoo. That was actually my first matching tattoo with Cody. So we kind of have this little tradition where every Friday the 13th, tattoo shops give discount tattoos. And anytime we can, we'll go and we'll just get little flash tattoos that don't mean anything, but we always get a matching. Don't make fun of us. But that was the first one we ever got together. And then obviously I have my hands, little like stars, and then I have the moon. That wasn't deliberate, no. My back has a ton going on. So my mom let me start getting tattooed when I was 16, because that's the legal age in Colorado. You just have to have parental consent to do it. And I love her so much for letting me get tattooed at 16, because I was the only one in school that had tattoos. But oh my gosh, I wish she would have sat down with me and like said, okay, maybe let's come up with some good ideas for tattoos. It wasn't my first tattoo, it was my second, but I put my name with a flower on my back. And oh my gosh, like you would not believe the amount of people.
Oh, your name on your back. Is that so he won't forget in the bedroom?
Couldn't stand the ridicule over that anymore, so I got it covered up with a feather that's like breaking off into a bunch of little birds flying away. You have probably seen this tattoo many, many times. It became super, super popular, and at the risk of being that person, I'm gonna say that I definitely had the tattoo before it became popular, but then it became huge, and now I feel like I'm one of 8 million people that have this stupid tattoo. But whatever, it's not going anywhere. And I don't hate it. I loved the tattoo. That's why I got it. I learned a lesson that day. And the next tattoo that I really wanted was a dream catcher on the thigh. But I told myself, nope, wait a year. And if you still want it, then get it. And sure enough, in that year, they just became stupid popular, super overdone. Everybody had the dream catcher on the thigh. So glad I learned that lesson. Glad I didn't get my dream catcher. And yeah. I just added to my back, actually. It's kind of a fresh tattoo, so the picture's gonna look, it's still like actively in peeling stage too. But I like it. My little creepy crow on my back. Okay, now this one. On my love handle on this side. That was my first ever tattoo. And this is the one that I'm like, Mom, could we have talked about this? But I got Baby Sylvester from the Looney Tunes. Why? Like, why did that need to be on my body? But I will say this, out of all the tattoos that I've had issues with, gotten covered up, that one I'm not gonna touch. It's not cute, it's old as hell, but like that is my first tattoo story. And in a weird way, I love him. So he's staying forever. I do have a cluster of roses on my thigh. Another cover up. See, everybody says get laser, and I'm like, no, I have gotten laser. I used to have little like swirls with stars tattooed on my hip, and then I had kids, and it just stretched everything out. They looked so bad. And I got a free laser treatment on that, and thank goodness it only took the one, and it is gone. But oh my God, like people do not joke on laser. It is 10 times worse than getting tattooed. And if it hadn't been for the fact that this was a teeny tiny tattoo, like I would have tapped. It hurts so bad. You smell your flesh cooking in the air. It's just awful. You blister like immediately, like big old pussy blister. Would not recommend. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the cover-ups, not so much a fan of laser. But on my thigh, it's covering up what would have been a really good story. I used to want to be a tattoo artist, and I actually started up an apprenticeship. And the guy I was studying under, he was like, well, part of being an apprentice is you have to get tattooed by me. And I was like, oh, awesome. Like I have all these tattoo ideas. And he goes, no. You get to get tattooed with whatever I want to tattoo on you. And I was like, okay. And he straight up asked me, he's like, who do you like more, Jim Carrey or Steve Carell? Now, they are both great actors, but without a doubt, it's Jim Carrey. So I said, Jim Carrey. And he's like, okay, come in tomorrow wearing shorts. So I did, and saw he had the whole station set up and the picture slapped on the wall of what he was going to tattoo on me. And it was a caricature of Jim Carrey's face. And at the time I was like, rock on, because I love Jim Carrey. And also like I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I had planned that my whole body was going to be covered in tattoos, and probably none of them were going to be very meaningful. It would just be like a fun ass story to tell. Oh yeah, I came into work one day and my boss tattooed me with Jim Carrey's face. Ha ha ha. So we did one session on it, and things went downhill real quick with my apprenticeship. The guy was awful to me, just toxic. But I ended up walking away from the apprenticeship. And then I have this half-finished caricature of Jim Carrey on my thigh. And to have nothing else surrounding it, it was just like, it was embarrassing. So he had to go, got covered up with some roses. Simple, but I actually really love the tattoo now. And hey, maybe one day I'll have somebody do Jim Carrey for real. I'm gonna have to get a lot more tattoos before that. He cannot be the center focus. Moving down to my feet on my like ankle heel. That is another Friday the 13th matching tattoo that I got with Cody. I've told you guys the story that we both met in the dental industry. That's what kind of connects us. We both love teeth. And there's lots of weird teeth stuff around our house. But yes, we got matching tat teeth. And then the last is on my foot, and it's just a little scripty font that says Péché Chéri, which is darling peach in French. And I have a couple little paw prints. So that was for my cat Peach, Princess Peach. She was the best darn cat ever. I loved her so much. And unfortunately, she passed shortly after Cody and I got together. And then that's when we got our first two boys, Prince and Presley. But she was just the light of my life. But now I always have a little something to remember her by. That's it. Those are all of my tattoos. That took way too long just to talk about those. I love tattoos. I hope I get plenty more in my lifetime. Okay, next question. 8 years later. Do you wear contacts? I do not. I went through a phase for a while where I wore a lot of colored contacts because I don't know, I thought my eyes were boring and I looked so much more striking with light colored eyes, which I did, but at the same time, I don't know, it almost caused like this weird dysmorphia where when I would pop them out, like I thought I looked less pretty. And so I finally just stopped wearing them altogether just because it's like, this is not good for my self-image or whatever. But the funny thing is, when I was wearing them, it was legitimately just to change the color of my eyes. I could not find a good contact lens that lightened super dark eyes and could fit my prescription because I have astigmatism, which means you need like toric lenses. They're a little bit more like cone shaped instead of perfectly round. So there was no product on the market at the time that met all of my needs. So I chose color over actual vision correction. So stupid. But now I don't fuck with them at all. I just wear the glasses. I have like 1,000 pairs of glasses so I can kind of change it up. Glasses all the time. Zodiac sign. Cancer. Cancer the crab. And I am like textbook Cancer. Love to be at home. I'm an introvert. I'm extra moody. I get real crabby when somebody messes with me. All the Cancer like stereotypes right here. Last thing you ate. So we went out to dinner this evening with my aunt, and she took us to one of my favorite restaurants, which is Casa Vallarta. And they have the most amazing carne asada. Oh my gosh, it's just a big slab of it. It's so tender, so juicy, just delish. And that is what I had tonight. I actually have leftovers that I know I'm gonna kill for second dinner. Last text was my aunt confirming that she had arrived at the restaurant. She's always early. We weren't late, but we were later than she was, but she's always early. Last phone call would have been to Code Red. We call all throughout the day, but I think the last one we had, I called him to tell him that Netflix is changing our subscription. Stupid Netflix. Is it just me, or are these streaming services just getting like way out of control? So we had like the most basic plan of Netflix, which is where like only one account can stream at a time. And now that plan is not going to exist anymore. They're lowering our price. So they said it like it's a good thing for us. But now we're going to have ads. Freaking ads everywhere. Ugh. Last song you listened to. I know this one. I know this one right away because we were jamming in the car. And of course, it always happens, like the best songs come on right when you're pulling into the parking lot. It was Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Great song. Last movie you watched. I haven't been doing movies lately at all. We've been doing a lot of shows. I think it was when Cody's mom was in town before we went camping. And we watched, I think it was called Abigail. The movie about the little girl who's like a vampire. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. What are your 3 favorite colors? Okay, definitely red, black, and it's a tie for third for me between green and orange. I love both of those. I'm gonna say green. Red, black, green. Favorite drink? Well, I'd say I drink the most water out of anything. Well, that's not really an exciting answer. The thing I enjoy the most, for sure, is coffee. I love coffee. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Favorite fast food. Okay, I'm gonna kind of cheat here and not do like drive-through fast food, but fast casual Chipotle. Love Chipotle, obsessed. Used to work at Chipotle, ate it every day, twice a day, never got sick of it. Like, there are just so many combinations. I love Chipotle. Favorite board game? Ooh. We do game night a lot with my cousin and her husband, and we've played a lot of really fun games, but I'm gonna try and stick to like a board game, a game with a board. And I have to go kind of classic and do the Game of Life. Like, that one is so much fun. Favorite day of the year? I'll give you a guess. It is definitely Halloween. So I've said before that I'm kind of like torn between what's my favorite holiday, Halloween or Christmas. I love them both. Halloween is like my favorite day. That day is just amazing. What I love so much about Christmas is it's more like you celebrate the whole month leading up to it. So it's almost like Christmas to me isn't a day, it's a season. And I just love all of everything that leads up to it. If I could celebrate Halloween, stretch that out, over the course of a month, I would love that. I can't even decorate a month early because of my stupid HOA. Best believe the day that I'm allowed in our HOA contract to put decorations up, they're up. Love me some Halloween. Favorite author? Okay, mine is Lois Duncan. She is actually a young adult writer. I like young adult stories. I'm not like ashamed to admit that at all. But what I love about her stories is they always have some kind, I was trying to mix that word together. Some kind of dark and creepy undertone. She actually wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer, but let me tell you, the book is nothing like the movie. So obviously I watched the movie as a kid. And then as I became a young adult, that's when I found this author and I read the book and I was like, but yeah, I love her books. I love her stories. Favorite flower? I don't think I could pick just one for this. I love poppies. Obviously, I love the color red, so I love those. But peonies, I love those. I think they're super pretty and just so like lush and full. And tulips. I think tulips are just sweet as can be. Yeah, I'd say those three. Snow or rain? It's gonna be rain for me. I love being inside, watching out the windows on a rainy day. I used to love snow. I love being out in the snow, playing in the snow, that kind of thing. But when I became an adult and started driving in the snow, I definitely like snow a whole lot less. Outside or inside? Definitely inside. I'm an indoor girl. I can enjoy some outside time here and there, but if you ask me like where I'd rather be, always inside, always my home. What's that they say? I'm getting my mortgage worth. Pepsi or Coke? It's Coke for me, no contest. Hugs or kisses? I mean, I like both, but I guess if I had to pick one, hugs. I still want to be able to hug my friends. I still want to be able to hug my son because he won't let me kiss him anymore. So yeah, hugs. Smooth or chunky peanut butter? Smooth, 100%. I hate whenever there's something smooth and you get that crunchy texture in with it. It throws me off. So I don't like ice cream with nuts. I don't like brownies with nuts. I don't like banana bread with nuts. Like I just want, if it's soft, it should be soft. If it's crunchy, it should be crunchy. And I don't like the two together. No. Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? I mean, depends on the context. I prefer chocolate cake. I prefer vanilla in like my coffee, but strawberry, I love strawberry ice cream. I love strawberry milkshakes. And I do like strawberry cake too. In fact, my birthday cake this year was strawberry. So I guess overall, strawberry. Butter, plain, or kettle popcorn? Butter. On top of butter with some more butter, sprinkled with a little bit of butter, drowning in butter. I can't get enough butter on my popcorn. Do you believe in love at first sight? I guess if your love is super shallow, you gotta like talk to somebody before you know that you love them. This ain't Disney. Have you ever been outside the country? So I am not well traveled at all. But I have been outside the country, but only to Canada and Mexico. I want to visit Creative Paula out in Ecuador. I think we'd have a fun time together. But she comes up to Florida sometimes, so maybe we'll just have like a girls' day in Florida, just as soon as we both make it big and rich on YouTube. Have you ever been arrested? No, never. I think I would cry like a baby if I got arrested. Am I in trouble? Are you afraid of the dark? No, I'm not. I love the dark. How many pillows do you sleep with? I do sleep with 2. That's a really random question, actually. But I sleep with 2, one for my head and then one like between my legs at my knees. Very comfy way to sleep, but not very practical when you're traveling. When we just went camping, I did not have my knee pillow and I struggled to fall asleep for a while. What would be the best gift ever? Oh, well, obviously art supplies and then tattoos. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. No, the neck tattoo that I got on my birthday, that was a gift from Cody. I love tattoos and they are not cheap. So what's your dream exotic pet? Ooh, that's hard because on a lot of levels, I feel like it would be a big cat, like a lion or a tiger. But the cost to feed them all that meat, watching them eat all that meat, risking my life every time I want to pet them, maybe that's not what I'm into. You know what would be fun is an otter. I love otters. They're freaking adorable. What's something you hate to do? Drive, I'd say would be my number 1. Overdoing dishes, overdoing laundry, both things I hate. I hate driving. I have the worst road rage ever, and it's just so stressful to be out on the road. What's your favorite thing about yourself? Okay, well, are we talking like personality or are we talking physically? I guess if we're talking personality-wise, I like my loyalty. I am a very loyal partner, but also friend. I remember growing up, I would get really offended if like I didn't like somebody in school and then my friend was cool with them. I'm the type of friend that it's like, if you got a problem with them, I got a problem with them. And I'll never like ditch a friend. I've unfortunately had lots of friends ditch me, but the good ones stick around. But physically, I got pretty good jugs. No complaints on them anyway. So yeah, I guess that's what I like best. I'm gonna write loyalty and boobies. Oh, what a great way to end the survey, am I right? If you guys are wondering why I just answered a bunch of questions about myself when the prompt clearly says that I'm supposed to be asking a friend, well, you guys are all my friends. And I thought what better way to honor the MySpace survey bulletin than by literally posting this survey in my description, and then you guys can go through, and if you want to, because everybody loves talking about themselves, go ahead, copy, paste it into the comments, and just update your answer. But yeah, I think it would be fun, now that you guys know all about me, for me to learn all about you guys. And thus, the bulletin keeps in rotation. Consider yourselves interviewed. So for this page, I've already used up enough time. I'm just going to keep it super simple. I printed off the survey with my answers and for nostalgia, a screenshot of Tom's standard ass MySpace profile. Oh, Tom. And now I'm just going to cut them out, add a little color to the survey, glue them in, and voila, done. This one was kind of a non-artistic prompt. I definitely spent more time answering the questions than I did decorating the page. But that's okay. Let's move on. Create an outfit. Draw or attach a picture of your favorite outfit. Use either an outfit you own or one you'd like to own. Be sure to explain why you love it so much.
Comfort, style, color, etc.
So I knew right away when I read this prompt that I had to draw something I've been longing to wear forever, and that is a Suspicious Circumstances robe. There was a meme that circled some time back that said,
I need this outfit for when the police come and tell me my rich husband has died under suspicious circumstances.
The outfit in question is one of those old Hollywood glamour robes that's silky and sheer and trimmed with all of the feathers. Just completely over the top and fabulous, and oh how I want one. I've wanted one of these robes since I was a child. I don't know, maybe it was the Lucky music video by Britney Spears. Maybe it was Debbie from the Addams Family Values. Fabulous. It is absolutely the type of outfit that one would expect a widow who gained millions from the untimely, suspicious death of her rich husband to be wearing. And of course, if I were to have one, it would have to be black. I actually looked into purchasing one now that I'm an adult and can make stupid decisions with my money. And unless you want the pathetic version, one of these is going to cost hundreds of dollars, and I just can't justify it. I would have to wear it every single day of my life for that price. So here lies another princess pipe dream of mine. She sure is pretty to look at, though. Okay, I needed this little snippet to match the other side, so I used the same colors from the dress form for the page background, thickened up that cursive font, then brought over that fiery red for the words suspicious circumstances. And because this was giving me the vibe of an illicit note between the widow and her secret lover, I added a little smooch mark. Back to the book. Let me just fancy up this little prompt doodle with the colors I've been using. Of course, we like the matchy-matchy here. Glue in our pages. Ugh, love, I'm obsessed with this page. It is such a vibe. I'm there for it. Will I ever own it? Probably not, but a girl can dream. A girl can dream. And that takes us to our final prompt. Create a switch. Come up with an idea for this page. Switch up the plan about halfway through completing your original idea. Don't plan your second idea until you have already started your first. Okay, prompts like this just do not work for me. I don't know if it's just me, but you tell me not to think about something and my brain immediately starts thinking about it. I just knew I would be planning the second idea and adjusting the original idea to cater to that so it was more cohesive. So to force myself into following the prompt, I decided to relinquish control of my second idea. Yes, I decided I would start my first idea and then ask my son what I should switch to. But I'm not going to lie, for the first idea, I kind of cheated a little. I made sure to choose something that I knew I could incorporate anything into. A lava lamp. I figured I could start on the lamp and then easy peasy turn the lava into whatever Landon had chosen. But first things first, the lamp. I decided since I was vibing on the black and rainbow this week, I would make the lamp liquid kind of rainbow and then the lava black. Someone asked me to give more of a tutorial on blending alcohol markers. Now, I am by no means an expert, but I can tell you guys what works best for me. Apply the lighter of the two colors first, a little bit beyond where you want the color to shift. Then apply the darker color to the point where you want the color to shift. And little circle strokes work best for this. Then you go over that color shift zone again, this time with the lighter color, and that should give you a nice blend. If it's still kind of a harsh shift, just keep going back and forth and back and forth. It will eventually blend out. The key, though, is to work fast. You want those markers to be wet when you're blending. And since I just use regular printer paper, they tend to dry real fast. So you'll see I usually have 2 markers in hand so that I can switch between them super, super fast. Now, unfortunately, this lamp didn't fill the space of the page very well. I probably should have done it more zoomed in and cropped out more of the base, but whatever, we'll adjust. I filled some of the surrounding area with black splat lava. Is it brilliant? No. Will it do? Yes. Hey, Landon. Come here.
Do you see the ghost?
Okay, so I need you to give me a random thing to draw. What comes to your mind first?
Peacock.
Peacock?
Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thanks for that, bud.
Sorry.
Okay, that sure threw me off. Like, there's not a whole lot of room here for a peacock. But, I'm gonna try. I'll just kind of sketch a peacock first and then sort of round everything out to give it that bumpy lava texture. Okay, for whatever reason, I decided one wasn't enough. Yeah, I made 2 peacocks. Add a little more lava around them. Color the lava black. I gotta be honest, it wasn't really reading. Like, if you didn't know what this was, would you be able to figure it out? Truly, I'm not so sure. I sure tried to save it, though, with a few juicy highlights. Like, hoping they would help everything to stand out more. I should have just asked Phoebe. She would have thrown me a softball like a cat or maybe a spider. Like, she's been drawing spiders a lot lately, and it's kind of cracking me up. But moving on, since I assumed it would be hard to tell what's happening here to somebody who doesn't know, I'm gonna have to write it on this page. Let's start with a big ol' rainbow splat. At least this one gave me a great base for some very satisfying juicy highlights. Yep, it's juicy highlight time. And now to just add the text, lava lamp to peacock. Some more juicy highlights. This ended up being a very shiny page. Cut everything out. Glue them into the book. I mean, yeah, it's still a little confusing, still kind of odd looking, but I definitely like it more actually on the page now. The colors are fire. And with that, the week is done and we can recap. We created a person, Pascal. After blindly picking traits, we used cool colors to create a good merman with long hair and an animal sidekick, Chomper the Shark. I love this little duo, and hey, these cards might resurface sometime. I don't know. We created Smudges, using acrylic paint in rainbow colors and black to smudge this image of a sad little unicorn losing her colors to darkness. I swear I wasn't in a bad place when I made this one. It just seems really dark. But you know what? I still like it. We created an interview. I pulled up an old school MySpace survey and shared all of my answers with you guys, and then passed it along for you to answer next. The answers to all of your interviews will be recorded in the comments, and I can't wait to find out more about you guys, if you've got a bit of time on your hands. We created an outfit, the suspicious circumstances glamorous robe of my dreams. But at least it's been cemented in this book, and I can look at the beauty of it whenever I so please. It'll be like my vision board. I'm manifesting. And lastly, we created a switch. Switching from my original idea of a lava lamp and incorporating Landon's idea of a peacock. I think this definitely could have been better with a simpler image for the second idea. More legible, but you know what? I love the concept. I love the colors. I did the best I could with the hand I was dealt. So I'm satisfied with it. Well, that's it for this week. I love all the prompts I did. I know this is a very long video, but yeah, I enjoyed doing the 5 this week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching them as much as I enjoyed doing them. But I thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.